Hola, hola. Nuestro invitado está en Chicago, en Estados Unidos, y es alguien que para mí es un amigo, es un mentor, es alguien que me ha inspirado personalmente a ser un mejor líder, una mejor persona. Muchos de ustedes ya saben, hace algunos meses que le hemos prometido la masterclass con Chris Garner y él nos ha concedido exclusivamente para el Influencer Circle el tiempo para poder conversar con nosotros, y yo creo que es perfecto cuando hay una transición de años donde uno se está replanteando resoluciones de año nuevo, metas, que una persona como Chris Garner, que para mí es el líder de la resiliencia, nos diga qué hacer. Chris es un emprendedor, es un conferencista, es un filántropo estadounidense cuya historia de vida inspiró la película En búsqueda de la felicidad o En busca de la felicidad, interpretada por Will Smith y nominada a un Oscar. Garner es uno de los oradores más dinámicos y activos en temas de éxito, resiliencia, liderazgo, motivación, y pocas historias vitales son tan inspiradoras como la suya. Pasó de no tener ni siquiera un techo bajo el que vivir a convertirse en el dueño y CEO de Garner Rich and Company, una firma de bolsa de valores. Su autobiografía, The Pursuit of Happiness, Happiness con Y, que en inglés es You, de You Are Responsible of Your Happiness. Su autobiografía se convirtió en número 1 en ventas en New York Times y The Washington Post. El libro también fue la inspiración para la aclamada película The Pursuit of Happiness, por la que Will Smith, que interpretó a Garner, recibió nominaciones para los Globos de Oro y los Oscar. Y su libro Start Where You Are, Life Lessons, también publicado, fue un bestseller y fue lanzado en 2009 y de inmediato llegó a la lista de superventas del New York Times. Garner es un trabajador incansable y acabó perdiendo su hogar debido a una serie de circunstancias adversas en la década de los 80, además con un hijo pequeño a su cargo, como se ve en la película. Pero Christopher, o Chris, no estuvo dispuesto a renunciar a sus sueños de éxito y logró ascender hasta la parte superior de la escalera de la industria financiera. Vamos a conversar con Chris Garner. Let's start with Chris Garner. Welcome to the masterclass of the Influencer Circle. How are you doing, my man?
I'm fantastic, sir. Always good to see you and be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I said at the beginning that this is the last masterclass of this 2019. We are doing this in the brink of the transition of an old year and a new year. And for so many people, you know, like they do New Year resolutions. I want to know, what do you do? Do you have a ritual? Do you have resolutions for the new year? What Chris Garner's does?
I say the words and then I do the work.
Oh.
It's that simple. Ishmael, it's that simple. Say the words, do the work. That's the hard part, doing the work. And doing the work means whatever it is that you said, that you promised to yourself, you can do that, Ishmael, very quietly. You don't have to make a bunch of pronouncements. You don't have to make a lot of announcements. You don't have to talk to and tell and share on social media. Say the words, do the work. And you know what? That's what works for me.
Wow. So, but do you have goals? Do you have, for instance,
Absolutely.
For 2020, have you set for yourself some personal and professional goals?
I have. And you know what they are? Honestly, I'll share them with you and everyone else that may be listening. I want for myself the same things that I want for everyone that's part of your masterclass. I want peace in my soul, clarity in my mind, and a spirit that shines so bright that the sun has to wear shades because it's in your presence. That's what I want. That smile you got on your face, that's what I want for everybody around the world. Peace, clarity, and a spirit that shines. And whatever that takes for you.
Wow, that's wonderful, Chris. That's really, really, really profound and wonderful. And, you know, like let's go back to the pursuit of happiness,
Mm,
because you have been one of the speakers globally
mm,
that we say, have one of the most profound effects on people talking about happiness.
mm.
A lot of people talk about happiness, but how can we teach happiness to others? Is there a way that like traveling all around the globe,
Mm.
have interpret what happiness means?
You made a, you touched on it early in your intro,
Hmm.
where you were explaining why I insist on spelling happiness with a Y.
Yes.
You have to always be mindful that Y is there because it's you and your responsibility, you and your opportunity to create the life that you want for you and your family. It's on you ultimately, period. And the first thing you have to do is you have to embrace that why is you. When you embrace that, you then begin to take the steps. And I have to tell you, Ishmael, it's so funny. People all around the world still come up to me and say, you know, you spell happiness wrong, right? No, man, it's about that why, Ishmael. You and I, you and I embraced that why a long time ago, right? And
Yes.
this has been done before. There are people who came before all of us who came up a steeper side of this mountain, carrying a bigger load with little to no opportunity, but they kept going forward, onward, and upward. This has been done before. Now it's your turn. And you have to own that. That's another big part of pursuing happiness, Ismail, for me, honestly. You have to own it,
You
right?
have to own it.
You
And
have
you
to
said it,
own it.
you said it when actually you were, like in the deepest crisis,
Mm,
being homeless. I
mm,
remember hearing you in an interview saying, somehow I drove myself here. So
mm.
I knew that I had the capacity of drive myself out.
That was the key for me. At my lowest, absolute lowest point, living in that subway station with my son tied on my back. What a lot of people still don't know, Ishmael, is at this point in time in our lives, in the movie, you saw Jaden Smith play my son as a 5-year-old. In
Mhm.
reality, my son was still 14 months old. He was
Mhm.
still in diapers. And every day I had to wash him up and I had to look in the mirror in that train station and ask myself very, very important questions. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? What's going to happen next? But the most important question, Ishmael, was how did I get here? And the answer was, as you said, I drove here. I
Mhm.
had something to do with the situations and circumstances that had become my life. But the second I said it, I knew, whoa, well, if I drove here, I could drive out of here. That's power. Give yourself that power. Own that power.
That's amazing. That's really good. And actually, Chris, as I went deeper to prepare for this conversation into your biography, your life story, I really admire you more. Why? Because sometimes we see the movie and that's enough, your life story, what the movie
Mm-hmm.
portrays. But when we go before
Mm-hmm.
that episode portrayed
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, wow, we can see a human being that when childhood was not that good for you, you became also resilient and you owned the process. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about few incidents, like a father that you didn't meet for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You actually lived with your stepfather, and the stepfather was abusive to your
Mm-hmm.
mom, and actually, I think even to yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so your mom and your mom, I know that your mom inspired you and her spiritual genetics, but your mom was imprisoned twice. So probably
Yes.
she was absent
Mm.
from your life, for periods of time. So many incidents, like you were sexually abused as a
Mm.
young kid. So how can we take that much and not become somebody who is bitter or full of anger or full of hatred and with not love and compassion and generosity? How can you do that?
Let me tell you how I did it. And you made allusions or references to difficult times in my life. You were very, very absolutely correct. In the movie, you only got 90 minutes, okay? And the
Mhm.
film, Ishmael, as you recall, and so eloquently put, was about 1 year of my life. I was 28 years old, meaning there were 27 years before that. And not by design or intention, but I get to check a lot of boxes. Uh,
Mm.
Abandoned child, foster care, mom in prison, never met his father, domestic violence survivor, sexual assault survivor, never went to college, veteran, single parent, homeless, entrepreneur, and Black.
Mm.
And I said Black last because I got this free. This is the original packaging right here, right? So when you get to check all of those boxes, Ishmael, you get some credibility that comes with that. And one of the most important things that I believe I could share with you right now is having checked all of those boxes also gave me an opportunity to make a decision. Am I going to become what I saw every day, or was I able to become something bigger than what I saw every day?
Mm.
I made the choice to see something bigger. I made the choice to go the other way. And that's the most important decision I ever made in my life. Because when you grow up with that kind of situations, those kind of things that we just referenced, it's very easy to perpetuate them, right?
Mm.
And people will say, well, look where he's from. He didn't have a choice.
Mhm.
Well, I did have a choice, and I chose to go the other way. That's also part of power. That's part of owning it.